On a cold November night in 1974, 6 members of a family were found murdered in their beds, shot execution style as they slept, inside a quiet suburban home in Amityville, New York. Just over a year later, a new family moved in, only to flee in terror just 28 days later, claiming they were tormented by an unspeakable evil. Was it a haunting, a hoax, or something far worse? Tonight, we uncover the bloody past, the terrifying events, and the chilling conspiracy that still haunts the house at 112 Ocean Avenue. Welcome to the Amityville Horror. And beware, this story is not for the faint of heart. Before the haunting, there was the massacre. On November 13, 1974, 23-year-old Ronald Butch DeFeo Jr. calmly walked into a bar in Amityville and declared, "I think my mother and father are shot." When police arrived at 112 Ocean Avenue, they discovered a horrifying scene. 6 bodies. Mother, father, and 4 siblings lay face down in their beds. Each had been shot with a high-powered .35 caliber Marlin rifle. None had moved. No neighbors heard screams. DeFeo was arrested and eventually confessed. "Once I started, I just couldn't stop. It went so fast." But he would later change his story many times, blaming voices in the house, a mob hit, even his sister. To this day, the motive remains a mystery. In December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz bought the DeFeo home at a bargain price of $80,000. They moved in with Kathy's 3 children from a previous marriage. They knew what had happened there, but claimed they weren't afraid. That changed quickly. From the very first night, strange things began to happen. Doors slammed on their own. Windows opened, then froze shut. Unseen forces dragged George from his bed. Green slime oozed from the walls. Kathy levitated above the mattress. A demonic pig-like creature with glowing red eyes stared through the windows. Their dog refused to go near certain rooms. The temperature in the house dropped suddenly, even when the furnace roared. After 28 days, they abandoned the house, leaving all their possessions behind. They never returned. Desperate, the Lutzes called in Father Ray Pecoraro, a Catholic priest, to bless the house. He barely stepped into one bedroom before hearing a deep, menacing voice say, "Get out." He obeyed. Later, renowned paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren visited the property. Ed said there's a very strong demonic presence in that home. Lorraine, a psychic medium, felt overwhelmed by a dark force. "I hope this is as close to hell as I ever get." The Warrens conducted a seance in the house. One photographer claimed to capture the ghost of a young boy peering from a doorway, widely believed to be one of the murdered DeFeo children. Skeptics called it a hoax. Believers called it proof. The deeper you go into the Lutz's story, the stranger it gets. George Lutz began waking up every night at 3:15 a.m., the exact time of the DeFeo murders. He grew obsessed with the fireplace, chopping wood constantly, even sleeping in front of it. Kathy experienced bruises and strange dreams, often of the murders. One night, she claimed to transform into an old hag in the mirror. Flies infested one room, in the dead of winter. Their youngest daughter, Missy, spoke to an imaginary friend named Jody, who she described as a pig with glowing eyes. Jody told Missy, "You'll live here forever." The Lutzes believed the house was changing them, breaking them down, trying to keep them. After fleeing the house, the Lutzes told their story to author Jay Anson, who turned it into the best-selling book, The Amityville Horror, A True Story, in 1977. It sold over 10 million copies. 2 years later, the film adaptation hit theaters, terrifying audiences and raking in millions. The Amityville house became the most famous haunted house in America. But fame came with scrutiny. Investigators began picking apart the Lutz's claims. Neighbors said they saw no strange activity. Documents proved some incidents, like slime and broken windows, had no evidence. Still, George and Kathy swore their story was true until their deaths. Over the years, many investigators have called the Amityville haunting a hoax. In 1979, attorney William Weber, who had represented Ronald DeFeo, admitted, "We created this horror story over many bottles of wine." He claimed it was a scheme to gain money and book deals. Even forensic analysis showed that the DeFeo murders couldn't have happened the way Ronald claimed. But here's where it gets darker. Some believe the house itself feeds on belief, that every story, every retelling keeps the evil alive, and that by mocking it, we invite it. So what is the truth? A haunted house? A brilliant con? Or a curse that clings to all who dare enter? The house at 112 Ocean Avenue still stands, remodeled, renamed, but its reputation remains. Some say it's quiet now. Others say the evil never left. It just waits in the walls, in the shadows, for you to believe. But sometimes the most terrifying thing is not what happens in the dark. It's what follows you back into the light. If this story chilled you to the bone, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. Do you think the Amityville Horror was real? And whatever you do, don't look behind you.